Have you ever promised your child a favorite snack, extra iPad time, a trip to the park, only to have them completely ignore you? I offered the reward, why isn't it working? That's what I've heard parents say. If that's happened in your home, I want you to know you're not doing anything wrong. In today's video, I'm going to explain one of the biggest misconceptions parents have about rewards and why understanding this one simple idea can completely change how you motivate your child with autism. This is week 1 of our 7-week Reinforcer Challenge, and by the end of today's video, you'll understand why rewards often don't work and how to start discovering what truly motivates your child. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Autism Parenting Simplified. If you're new here, we are so glad you're here. At Autism Parenting Simplified, we help parents learn practical, evidence-based ABA strategies they can confidently use at home. My daughter is a board-certified behavior analyst, and I am a special educator. We have decades of experience with this, and we work together, and we're the ones that have created Autism Parenting Simplified. We've worked with hundreds of families over time, and one thing we've learned is this: parents don't need more information. They need practical strategies that really fit into real life. That's exactly why we created this 7-week Reinforcer Challenge. Over the next 7 weeks, you will complete one small activity each week that helps you better understand what motivates your child. Because once you understand motivation, everything gets easier. Daily routines, learning new skills, communication, even reducing challenging behaviors, which is so important. So let's start with one of the biggest myths we hear from parents. Let's start with something that surprises a lot of parents. Rewards and reinforcement are not the same thing. I know, it sounds a little confusing at first. Here's an easy way to think of it. Imagine someone offered you a gift card to a coffee shop. If you absolutely love coffee, that's exciting. But if you don't drink coffee at all, the gift card probably isn't very motivating. The gift card itself isn't automatically rewarding. Its value depends entirely on the person receiving it. The exact same thing happens with our children. Many parents tell us, I offered my child candy, I promised tablet time, I said we'd go to the playground, but nothing happened. Here's the important question: did your child actually want that reward in that moment? Because if they didn't, it wasn't reinforcing. The one thing we often tell parents is this: a reinforcer is only a reinforcer if it actually increases the behavior you want to see again. And that's why reinforcement isn't about what adults think should be motivating, it's about what actually matters to your child. Can you relate to this? Has there ever been a reward that you thought your child would love, but they completely ignored it? Let us know in the comments. You're definitely not the only parent who has experienced this. Here's something we see all the time. A parent says, my child used to do anything for stickers, or they loved gummy bears, or they always worked for bubbles. And then one day, nothing. The reward suddenly stopped working, and I'm like, what happened? Did the strategy fail? No, not at all. Think about your own life. Imagine someone handed you your favorite dessert. The first bite, delicious. The second, still pretty good. But after the 5th or 6th serving, you probably aren't nearly as excited. The same thing happens with reinforcement. Sometimes children simply get enough of something. Sometimes they're tired. Sometimes they're interested in something completely different from what you're offering. And sometimes they're hungry or overwhelmed. Motivation changes throughout the day, and that's perfectly normal. We all go through it. One of the biggest mindset shifts we encourage parents to make is this: instead of asking, what's my child's favorite reward? Ask, what is motivating my child right now in this moment? Those are two very different questions, and that one small shift can completely change how successful reinforcement becomes. I remember working with one little boy who loved bubbles. For months, bubbles were his magic. He would happily practice communication, follow directions, participate in activities because he knew bubbles were coming. Then one day, nothing. His parents were worried. Did we do something wrong? Not at all. He simply discovered dinosaurs. Suddenly, every dinosaur toy, every dinosaur book, every dinosaur sticker became incredibly valuable to him. The reinforcer changed because his interests changed. And that happens. And that's exactly what we want parents to begin noticing during this challenge. Not just what your child likes, but what truly motivates them today. because motivation changes and that's okay. So if rewards aren't automatically reinforcing, how do you figure out what actually motivates your child? The good news is you don't have to guess. One of the best things you can do is to become a detective, which you already have those detective skills. Instead of thinking, what should motivate my child, start asking, what does my child naturally choose? Take a few minutes over the next several days and simply just observe. Ask yourself, what does my child choose during free time? Or what toy do they return to over and over? What activity makes them smile? What do they ask for without being prompted? That makes them light up. Sometimes the most powerful reinforcers aren't expensive toys or elaborate rewards. For one child, it might be blowing bubbles. For another, it might be jumping on the trampoline, or some kids just like to watch the ceiling fan spin. I mean, it is a thing. They really do like it sometimes. Some love music, some lining up cars, some enjoying sitting beside mom while reading a favorite book. Here's something we remind families all the time. Your child's interests are valuable. Sometimes parents worry because their child is fascinated with something that seems unusual. Maybe it's elevators, numbers. I've seen trains, vacuum cleaners. I've seen students that like vacuum cleaners. Rather than fighting those interests, we often use them to help our children learn. When we teach through something a child genuinely enjoys, learning becomes more meaningful and much more successful. I even knew, I had a student once that enjoyed the hand dryers in the bathroom. So he loved to visit every public bathroom because he wanted to see the hand dryers. So the mom was able to use that as motivation when they went somewhere in the community. As long as he, met the expectations, had good behavior, kept his hands to himself, things like that, he would earn the trip into the bathroom and be able to see the hand dryer. So no matter how different it seems, it will still work as a motivator. Now, it's time for your first challenge activity. Don't worry, this isn't complicated. In fact, it might be the easiest homework you'll ever receive. This week, your job is to simply observe. No changing behavior, no teaching skills, no elaborate reward system. Just watch. For 5 to 10 minutes each day, notice, what does your child choose first? What do they spend the longest time doing? What do they ask for repeatedly? What are they smiling about? Keep a simple list in your phone or a notebook. By the end of the week, you'll probably start seeing patterns you had not noticed before. Those patterns are incredibly important because they help us identify potential reinforcers that we can use throughout this challenge. Remember, the goal isn't to make your child like something different. The goal is to understand who they already are. If I were starting this challenge with my own family, here's exactly what I would focus on this week. Number 1, I would spend 5 minutes simply observing. Resist the urge to direct or teach. Just watch. Number 2, write down your child's top 5 favorite activities. Don't overthink it. You're looking for patterns, not perfection. Step number 3, notice when those interests change. Morning may look different than evening. Weekdays may look different than weekends. That's completely normal. Step number 4, join your child in something they already enjoy. Instead of introducing a new activity, enter their world. Play alongside them. Comment on what they're doing. Have fun together. Connection is a powerful foundation for learning. Step number 5, celebrate what you discover. Even if today's win is simply realizing your child loves bubbles more than stickers, that's valuable information. Progress starts with understanding. Step number 6, remember that motivation changes. If something worked yesterday but not today, don't panic. Just ask yourself, what might be motivating my child right now? That one question can save you a lot of frustration. Let's talk about a few common mistakes, and please hear this with grace. These are things that almost every parent tries at some point. So, mistake number 1, using the same reward for everything. Just like adults don't want pizza for every meal, children don't always want the same reinforcer. It's okay to have variety. Mistake number 2, assuming your child's favorite toy is always motivating. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they simply aren't interested in it. So we have to stay flexible in those moments. Mistake number 3, choosing what we think should be exciting. Sometimes we pick rewards based on what we would enjoy. Instead, let your child's interests guide you. Mistake number 4, thinking the strategy failed. One reward not working doesn't mean reinforcement doesn't work. It simply means it's time to observe again. Remember, motivation changes, and that is perfectly okay. Before we finish today, I want to encourage you. If you've been feeling frustrated because nothing seems to motivate your child, you're not failing. You simply haven't gathered enough information yet. And that is exactly what this challenge is designed to help you do. As a board-certified behavior analyst, which is my daughter, and a special educator, which is me, together, we have supported hundreds of families over the years. And one thing we have seen over and over again is this. The biggest breakthroughs often begin with the smallest observations. You don't have to figure out everything this week. You don't need to have a perfect strategy. You don't need to know every ABA term. You just need to stay curious. And remember, every child develops differently. Every family looks different. Small wins do matter. Consistency matters far more than perfection. So, if today's video helped you see reinforcement a little bit differently, we would love for you to continue this journey with us. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss week 2 of the 7-week Reinforcer Challenge, where we'll dive deeper into identifying powerful reinforcers and using them in everyday routines. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more families discover practical evidence-based strategies that they can use at home. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. What is one thing you discovered about your child's interests this week? If you're participating in the challenge, share your biggest observation. Your insight might encourage another parent who's just beginning. We all have to help each other and walk alongside each other. I'm sure you have felt at times that you're all alone and you're the only one trying to do this and work through this, but no, there are so many other parents out there walking this same journey alongside you, and it would be so helpful if we could become a community and talk to each other and discuss things and help each other. So that's what we're trying to create here. And if you know another parent, grandparent, teacher, or caregiver who could benefit from this series, consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes the right information at the right time can make all the difference. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with us today. And remember, this week isn't about changing your child's behavior. It's about changing the way you observe. Because when we truly understand what motivates our children, we can teach with more confidence, we can connect more meaningfully, and everyday life can get just a little bit easier. Next week, we'll build on what you've discovered and we'll take the next simple step together. Until then, keep observing, keep celebrating the small wins, and remember, progress doesn't happen overnight, but every small step does count. We'll see you in the next video.